Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Guides, the series where we dive deep into character mechanics, synergy, and team optimization for games like Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, and Wuthering Waves. Today we're talking about Lucia W-Engine, a support who's already changing how Rupture teams are built. And no, she's not just another buffer, Lucia is the full package. She brings sustain, utility, and massive damage amplification that's turning regular Rupture squads into absolute monsters on the field. At her core, she's what you'd call a team amplifier. Her whole kit revolves around boosting your team's damage, HP scaling, and Rupture potential. The key mechanic here is Dream Points. Once she hits 100, she enters Dream State, activating Aether Veil Wellspring. That instantly gives your team a 5% max HP boost, and during this state, every time your allies attack, she consumes Dream Points to trigger Aftershocks. These grant the Dreamer's Nursery Rhyme buff a 20% team-wide damage increase for 8 seconds. It doesn't stack, but it refreshes every time it's triggered, which basically means near constant uptime when played right. Then comes one of her biggest game changers, the Dark Breaker effect. It adds a whopping 900 sheer force and increases your team's crit damage by 30% whenever you've got a Rupture or Stun unit in your lineup. And this is where things get crazy. That's why she pairs so beautifully with top Rupture DPS characters. Think of it like having Pan and Jufufu's buffs combined into one unit and then still adding more on top. Her ultimate, meanwhile, is both stylish and practical. She summons this spectral beast, charges forward with huge damage reduction, becomes completely uninterruptible, and can't even die mid-animation. When she slams down, she leaves behind a healing field. If you use her ultimate while not in Dream State, it instantly fills her Dream Points to 100. But if you use it during Dream State, it lets her re-enter the moment it ends, making her buff cycle practically seamless. So how should you actually play her? Start with her EX special attack, follow with a basic to build Dream Points, and that's your setup to trigger Quick Assist and enter Dream State. Once she's in it, Aftershocks will automatically trigger every 8 seconds as your team attacks. When Dream Points run out, just loop back around and repeat. Use her ultimate smartly, either to refill her bar or to extend her buff windows during burst rotations. Now, when it comes to builds and W-Engines, her signature, Dreamlit Hearth, is by far her best in slot. It gives her plus 30% HP, plus 0.4 energy regen per second, and every time she activates or extends Aether Veil, the entire team gains plus 25% damage and plus 15% max HP for 45 seconds. That's insane synergy with her entire kit, since almost all of it scales with HP. If you don't have her signature, don't worry. There are strong stand-ins. Unfettered Game Ball is great for counter-based buffs, Weeping Cradle helps with energy regen, Kaboom the Cannon stacks ATK%, and Reverb Mark III gives team-wide ATK boosts. None of these quite match Dreamlit Hearth, but they're solid placeholders that'll carry you until you get it. For drive discs, go with a 4-piece Moonlight Lullaby for the damage boost during EX and Ultimate, paired with a 2-piece Yunkui Tails for extra HP scaling. If you're missing that, a 2-piece Swing Jazz is perfect for energy recharge. On your stat rolls, prioritize HP percent on slots 4 and 5, and HP percent or energy recharge on slot 6. Substats should always favor HP percent, flat HP, and energy recharge in that order. Now, let's talk about the part that really defines her, team synergy. Her synergy with Yixuan is absolutely top tier. Yixuan's HP scaling Rupture kit matches perfectly with Lucia's sheer force and HP buffs, turning every burst into a consistent high damage output. Add Jufufu as a sub-DPS, and her crit damage amplification lines up beautifully with Lucia's buff windows, giving you an almost uninterrupted wave of powered-up hits. Together, Lucia, Yixuan, and Jufufu create what's arguably the ideal Rupture trio right now. But even if you don't have Yixuan, Lucia still has plenty of options. She pairs well with Minato as your main Rupture DPS, or with Yidhari for a hybrid Ice Rupture comp. Her buffs are flexible enough to empower any HP or sheer scaling unit, which means she's only going to get stronger as more characters come out. The key to maximizing her value is syncing your rotations. Start with Lucia, activate Dream State, rotate through your sub-DPS buffs, then bring out your main DPS when her Aether Veil and Sheer buffs are active. If you do it right, you'll maintain near full uptime on her buffs. When it comes to Mindscapes, her Mindscape 1, Secret Friend, is a game changer. It grants a 20% overall performance increase, easily one of the strongest single dupes in the entire game, and the perfect place to stop for most players. So, the big question, should you pull for Lucia Elowen? Honestly, yes, especially if you own Yixuan or plan to invest in Rupture teams for the long haul. Lucia's sheer buffs, HP scaling, and Ether Veil uptime make her a cornerstone support who will stay relevant for a long time. Even without Yixuan, she's completely future-proof, buffing stats that many upcoming characters will also benefit from. That said, she does require some investment. She really shines with strong HP rolls, optimized drive disks, and ideally her signature W-Engine. Without them, she's still great, just not at her absolute best. But for anyone serious about Rupture content, Lucia is absolutely worth the pull. And that wraps up our deep dive into Lucia Elowen, her kit, builds, best team comps, and whether she deserves your pulls. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share your team setups in the comments, and of course, subscribe for more in-depth guides and theory crafts. Thanks for tuning in. This has been your Daily Guides, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.